So let's get into messy blog moments, y'all. So we got a couple of things that's up for the charts early this morning. That's it. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody enjoying their day. Hope everybody up on a good pep. It's almost close to the end of the week. Shoot, we almost there. But good morning, everybody. Let's get down to the mess that we got to get into. First up, like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. And let's get down to what we got to get into. So first, we going to get into that is Lil Nas X. So his lawyers ended up going to a meeting I want to say this week. It was either this week or last week. They went to some meeting. He had his first pre-trial meeting where he didn't show up for it, but his two lawyers did, and they actually ended up having a little press conference after it, where they ended up telling that he didn't have to show up for it, but he's actually in treatment right now in a disclosed location. He getting treated and everything. Why everything is getting together and stuff, and his lawyers are doing their part for him. Good for him. I hope he get the help that he needs. I hope that he can look past this and get the tools that he needs to not have this ever happen again. Because this is a lot to handle. I said it's really sad to see him go through this. To have a mental break like that. Like, it's sad. But I'm wishing for him the best. Let's move on to the next, y'all. So let's get into some mess. So we got Akon. So Akon's second wife, I think. I don't know how many wives he had, but we know about the main wife who filed for divorce, right before their anniversary. So the wife that we seen, I say second wife, I'm gonna put it like that. We seen her on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood back in the day, and so she came out to let us know that she's still married. I said, girl, you married in Africa. You married in that sense of the word. But I said, he only got one wife. It's like, but okay. She said, I'm still married to him and stuff. I'm still wifey. I said, good for you. But the main wife who's divorcing him about to get paid. But that's what's going on there. She just wanted to let us know that she's still sticking by him and all that good stuff. I'm like, I don't care, girl. Like, as long as you happy, he makes you happy. That's all that matters. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. But let's move on to the next. Let's get into. Okay, so we got the CEO of healthcare insurance. Was it Shields Insurance? Well, the man that ended up losing his life in New York. Well, the person that took him out, that man actually went to court, and the judge actually dismissed two of the big charges, which were treasonous charges that they put on him. Excuse me, the judge has dismissed them because the lack of insufficient evidence to prove that was what it is. But they did keep the judge did not dismiss the second degree murder. So he's still gonna be still got charges of second degree murder on his case. He's still going to trial. And that's what's going on there. Just praying for the man that lost his life to get the justice that he deserved, going through all of that. And that's what's going on there. Let's move on to, we got Marcus Jordan. So if we remember, this man ended up getting arrested for his car being on the train tracks. And he was higher than you know what. He was everything. He ended up taking he got off very light, where he got to write a 250 word apology to the police officers for disrespecting them. I said, what the heck is this? I said, who do? I said, wait a minute, he ain't gonna get no time. He got to pay a fine. What was it? I think the fine was 5K. Was about 5K, and he had to have a breathalyzer put into his vehicle. That put in his vehicle, and that's it. I said, wow. In community service, I said that's all he getting. I said, well, I see the Jordan name works wonders. How silly, but good for him. I hope he's getting clean and everything that he needs to do for himself. But it comes down to you hitting that rock bottom to make that happen. You can go to treatment as many times as you've been forced to, even by the courts. That's still not gonna change anything. But he get out scot-free. He got to write this apology to these police officers, and that's it. But good for him. Now let's move on to the last thing I got up, and that is Reasonably Shady. The podcast by Giselle and Robin. So Robin ended up did this weak clap back towards K Michelle, because K Michelle came at her because you're talking about why is K Michelle on Love and Hip Hop. K Michelle from Love and Hip Hop, why is she on The Housewives? I said she's married, and she's a A-list star, and she's a singer. That's why. But she clapped back after K Michelle got into her and stuff. She said, I like being on my couch, and I like selling my heads, and it's some and what did she say? What was it? Oh yeah, she went, in relationships, women always go through something with their man. I said, not to the point of your man out here in hotels, going to hotels paying women hotels fee because he flew the girl in and act like the girl, she lost her wallet and she ain't had no way to pay for her room. Like, really? Robin, really? Robin is a mess, and she gonna do what she gonna do. She want to be back on TV so bad, and she messed that up. Instead of being truthfully honest and being 100% about the relationship with her and I forget her man name with him, but that's what's going on there. That's all that I got for y'all this morning. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and join the channel, and I will get back at y'all later. Bye, y'all.